Then the feng shui gentleman changed the layout of my father's law firm and re-established a feng shui bureau for him. Since then, my father's law firm has prospered. Speaking of this, Paul said with emotion, "If it weren't for the feng shui man at the beginning, my father might have failed at the beginning of his business, so there would be no Smith law firm, which is why I am so firm. Believe in the reason of feng shui." Charlie didn't expect that at the beginning of the Paul's business, it was because of feng shui that it survived. Feng shui sometimes is so magical. When you are ready and the east wind may not come. Then no matter how you prepare, it is impossible to succeed. Feng shui, in the subtlety, plays the role of borrowing the east wind. Paul's admiration for Charlie really called a five-body cast. He himself is an American who looks more like a Chinese. He is obsessed with Chinese traditional culture and feng shui metaphysics, and he believes very much. Everything that Charlie said just now made him feel that this man's accomplishments in feng shui were unfathomable. So he didn't understand why someone would give Charlie a luxury villa worth more than $1 billion. Paul is very aware of the importance of a feng shui master. A good feng shui master can not only help people improve their luck and gather wealth. It can even help people change their lives against the sky. Therefore, the better the feng shui master, the higher their appearance fee and the higher their worth. For example, Hong Kong's Li Jiacheng, it is said that their royal feng shui masters will pay hundreds of millions for one visit. Therefore, he even felt that his $4 million check was a bit small. He knew he should write him a check for $10 million. Thinking of this, he directly shredded the $4 million check and threw it aside, and then hurriedly rewrote a $9 million check and handed it to Charlie respectfully. "Mr. Wade, please accept it." Charlie said earnestly, "Paul, I'll charge you $1 million, it is already enough, you don't have to give it to me anymore." Paul said very seriously, "Mr. Wade, feng shui metaphysics itself emphasizes piety. In some respects, money is also a representative of piety, so I hope you can laugh at it. Otherwise, you will appear to be insincere." Charlie is not short of money. There are nearly $22 billion in the entire account, so he doesn't know how to spend it. Whether Paul gives him $1 million or $10 million, there is actually no difference to himself. Charlie was not going to ask Paul for too much money. The money was just a form. He had no opinion on how much he gave, but he gave too much, and it was indeed not appropriate. However, Paul was very determined, and he was unwilling to take the money back. He insisted on letting Charlie accept it. Seeing this, Charlie no longer shied away from him, saying, "Since you have to give me the money, I will accept it first, but if I need to use your barrister in the future, you must charge as much money as you should." Paul smiled and said, "How can that work? You are master. You can use me. That's an exaltation to me." Charlie said, "In this case, I have legal affairs in the future, so I dare not come to you." Paul hurriedly said, "Mr. Wade, if you have any legal needs in the future, you can come to me and I must collect the money normally." Charlie nodded and smiled, "It's pretty much the same." After speaking, he looked at the time and said, "Paul, since there is nothing wrong with you, then I won't bother you today." Paul hurriedly said, "Master, I would like to treat you to a meal tonight. I wonder if you have time?" Charlie smiled and waved his hand and said, "I don't have to eat, there is still something waiting for me to do, I have to go." When Paul heard this, he immediately nodded and said, "Since Mr. Wade has something to do, then I will not keep you. I will send you out, please." Paul's simplicity made Charlie very appreciative of him. Most Chinese people prefer to be polite. If someone else wants to invite them to dinner, and if they shirk something, they will definitely continue to invite a few more enthusiastic invitations until they explicitly refuse it. Sometimes even if deep down in heart, they don't really want to invite the other party to dinner, they will treat each other politely.